Welcome to a Skyrim Addict podcast where I will discuss my adventures and misadventures through Skyrim. Join me. Add your stories, add your tales. Let's get into this thing. Hello, welcome back. I almost forgot to start talking. Skyrim Addict podcast. So this episode, I have a few things from Dave. I've Andrew's enchanting or crafting, I should say, feedback that didn't fit onto the last episode. Let's see. What else? And Andrew already has the promo build in, but I'll get into Andrew's in a moment. First, a couple quick things. On October 17th, I will be on with the Gentlemen of Character Crusade. And now I just drew a Couch Warrior TV, also on YouTube. I drew a blank on what it was for a second. Sorry about that. And that'll be live on October 17th on YouTube. So check out Couch Warrior TV. I believe it starts at 7 Eastern. I have to double check that, but just off the top of my head, I believe that's when it starts. So. Otherwise, we still have the cystic fibrosis benefit coming up on October 29th. We have a little Skyrim giveaway pack, different collectibles and things like that, Skyrim related, Elder Scrolls related, a Fallout one, and a copy of a new unopened copy of the game everybody hates but I enjoy, No Man's Sky. So if you donate, for every $10 it's donated, and you can get the details on asapodcasting.com. For every $10 donated to cff.org through us, you get a chance at the raffle of one of those things. And just when you send it in, just be like, hey, include me in X, Y, and Z, or include me in X, Y, not Z, if you have no interest in one of the things or it doesn't work for you. And the No Man's Sky thing is PS4. So anyway, Skyrim wise, we'll be doing a faction show. We got to schedule that, but we'll be doing a faction show prior to the re-release. That's all coming up soon, and maybe we'll have to figure out like a third one. What we're going to do, maybe crafting, factions, questing. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll have another get together before then, and then we'll be starting up the Skyrim Roundtable on the charity show as well. Folks over at Fallout Feed, that whole crew did a little game show yesterday, and that will be also like a special episode that's available for $1, and all that goes to Cystic Fibrosis Foundation as well. We'll have the more details on that to come. But so anyway, I've been playing a little Skyrim actually. I've been messing around with my Let's Play character, the Let's Play Skyrim character, trying to up his skills because he's very low leveled. I've been just going through the main story and doing nothing else, so I haven't really built up anything or acquired any terrific weapons or enchanted anything fantastically. So I took a little time and was just taking him around and doing some things and getting some things, but I just don't think I'm leveling up fast enough to make it worth my while. I want to continue on with the questing so I can get those out. So next up I'll be contacting Odoving, and we'll be putting a dragon in the palace, and that is what it is, and then we'll be off to Skuldafn. I really enjoy. Gosh, it's been quite a while since I played through the main quest like this, so I'm really enjoying it. I'm not really getting lost in any side quests or anything, just pretty much straight through it. Like even Blackreach, I snuck all the way through with that character, pretty high in sneak. Oh, I did get back into my thief character Hynor as well. Right now he is in the process of bringing Thieves Guild back to prominence. That little mod that allows you to select which city you want your quests in, fantastic. Makes it so much easier, and it gives you a count of how many you've done in each hold and all that, so you can I believe it's like 5 in each one, so it just so much easier, so much easier. So he's in the middle of that right now. He's in his Markarth adventures. Only problem with that character is I am not fast traveling, so just going to take a while. I may just start fast traveling because I have some ideas of what I want to do, especially with the roundtable coming up. I'm going to be playing the roundtable character on Xbox One. That way, any mods that come up with it, I could actually play around with those. I think that'll make it a little more interesting. So we may try and incorporate like any kind of quest mods that pop up for the consoles or dual use ones, also on PC. So that's kind of like the extra stuff is going to be all played by ear, I think, when the roundtable comes up, as far as adding mods and things like that. So I'm definitely going to be playing on the Xbox One for that, just to mess around with the mods on that and leave my PC version alone. I think I may redo my PC version anyway once I'm done with bringing the Thieves Guild to prominence, because it's been a while since I had actually ever brought it. I don't know if I ever actually finished and brought it fully to prominence again. But I was going to take that character and go right into the Dark Brotherhood. But I may just start over and rebuild from scratch, mod it up the way I want, and start a whole new character again. So we'll see. That may be coming up as well. So otherwise, let me get into Andrew's feedback here. Let me show this in the folder. These PCs, man, I tell you. Do I not? Can't it just open it? So weird. See, I like my Mac. I can just click on it and say play, and it plays. All right. So here is Andrew's crafting feed. Well, his crafting segment. So take a listen to this. I'm going to listen along. It's not short. I would call it a segment. So here, take a listen. Let's see if this comes on. I don't know. I don't generally funk around with Windows too much here. There we go. He even has intro music for himself. How do you like that? If you don't remember, this is the Roundtable opening theme from Dan Bull. It's actually not the Roundtable opening theme. We used it for the opening theme. It's from Dan Bull. You can check him out on YouTube. And iTunes, I believe. Wait, where did Andrew go? Man, he's got himself an intro here that is like crazy long. He may have played the whole song. It is a fantastic song, though. There we go. Will we hear from Andrew? Let's see.
Oh, my goodness.
There we go.
So good. First off, this is Andrew, and Michael mentioned that the guys on the show were going to go over some crafting stuff, and so I thought I'd put in my little 2 cents. I'm not going to be able to make the live show, so I thought I'd send in some audio feedback. But first off, man, I love that Dan Bull Skyrim rap. I'm excited to get back into the Skyrim remaster with a new version of the Skyrim Roundtable. It's going to be awesome. And then immediately also I'd like to apologize for the crickets in my basement. I know I've explained it on the Fallout feed, but we lost both of our kitties within the last year or so, and I did not realize how good they were at hunting crickets and spiders and stuff. I need to get a vacuum and go bug hunting. The crickets love that idea. Okay, so crafting-wise, my favorite thing in Skyrim is enchanting. That's the one thing I do. And first off, just a little bit about the enchanting tree. The shortest route to enchanter is, of course, you want to be a level 100. But the fastest way and the most valuable thing that I can do is with smithing. You smith some jewelry, and then you enchant the jewelry, and then you sell that jewelry, and that gives you some really good money and some speech perks as well. So keep that in mind. But the shortest route up the enchanting tree is you, of course, have the enchanter at the bottom, which gives you incremental ranks of 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100% increase of your enchanting power. At enchanting level 50, you can get the Insightful Chanter, which gives you skill enhancements on armor. They're 25% stronger. At level 70, you get the Corpus Enchanter, which your health, magicka, and stamina enchantments on armor are also stronger. And at level 100, so there's only like 1, 2, and then the third step, there is extra effect. So that you can get 2 enchantments per item, and that's important because you can double dip some of these items that we'll talk about here in just a second. Also, if no one mentions it yet in the show, I don't want to go over it too in depth, but the Black Star is important to the whole enchanting process. It is a dark soul gem that you can get and refill. You don't burn it every time. You actually get to refill it over and over. And also, if the guys don't mention it, have your follower farm souls for you. Give them a soul trap enchanted weapon and a bunch of soul gems, and they'll just collect a bunch of souls for you, so you don't have to worry about casting the spell. That never works. Or, trapping souls yourself. Just have your follower do it. So after you get all these soul gems, and of course it goes without saying, the smaller the soul gem, the weaker the enchantment's going to be. So you want lots of grand soul gems, which will compound the effect. So you want to get a lot of grand soul gems to make this the strongest enchantments. You're going to need a little bit of alchemy and enchantment to go hand in hand for this process. This is kind of a weird loop that I'm going to talk about. I'm not sure if anyone talked about this, so I'll make it quick as well. This is actually a long process. I don't know if I can make it quick. So the first thing you want to do with this loop of alchemy and enchanting, this is kind of like, I'll call it an exploit. It's not really a cheat. It kind of is because it's fixed by the unofficial patch mod, but on consoles we don't have that, so la-di-da to us. So what you can do here for this loop is, it is almost cheating here, but it's fine. You can do this, but don't do it too much. I'll warn you about that first off. At the arcane enchanting table, it's that big black table with like a blue-ish design and usually a skull of some sort on it. You'll want to disenchant a fortify alchemy item. Then you'll want to have 5 items with the fortify alchemy enchantment on them. The 5 kind of items that you can have for fortify alchemy are your gloves. No, that's enchanting. Damn it. I'm looking at my notes totally wrong. Sorry about that, guys. Well, the first off, you'll want to disenchant the item. Then you'll want to put on all of your alchemy gear after you enchant your alchemy gear. Then you'll want to make a Fortify Restoration potion over at the alchemy table. Fortify Restoration potions are made with the Abyssinian Longfin, the Cyrodiilic Spadetail, a Salt Pile, Small Antlers, which I never find Small Antlers, hard to find, and Small Pearl. So really it's just the 2 fish and the Salt Pile are really the easiest things to get. So you take the Fortify Restoration potion. You drink that Fortify Restoration potion. Then you remove your alchemy gear that you were just wearing. Then you exit that your inventory screen. Then you go back into your inventory screen and put it back on. And this will compound the effect of Fortify Restoration, under which enchanting is or is it the alchemy? It might be either one of those. It falls under that umbrella. Also, smithing falls under this, so you can use this for smithing and double dip. This is what we were saying about having the double enchantments. You can double dip a couple of the items. Let's see, what is it for smithing? You can do the chest, hands, ring, and necklace. So you can double dip alchemy with the hands, the ring, and the necklace. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. I'll also mention... God, this is going too long already. I apologize. There's some weird glitch with the Falmer helmet that can be worn at the same time as a circlet. So with your Fortify Alchemy enchantment, put it on a circlet and the Falmer helmet and wear both of them so you can get 5 pieces of the alchemy gear at once. And you might be able to do that with smithing. Don't remember. I don't think it's a headpiece for smithing, so maybe not. So anyway, onto this loop. After you remove the alchemy gear and put it back on, you just want to repeat steps 3 through 5, which are make the Fortify Restoration Potion, drink the potion, take off the gear, put the gear back on. You want to do that several times to compound the effect until you notice that the Fortify Alchemy level it stops compounding and doesn't increase anymore. After that, then you'll want to craft 5 Fortify Enchanting Potions. What is the Potion of Enchanting? Are the common ingredients are the Blue Butterfly Wing, the Hag Ravenclaw Snowberries, and the Spriggan Sap. So really, the easier ones are the Blue Butterfly Wing and Snowberries. Just collect lots of those to make your Potion of Fortify Enchanting. So you craft 5 Fortify Enchanting Potions. Then you drink a potion. Then you enchant each of the 5 items, drinking a potion in between each of those 5 items for alchemy. Then you repeat 7 and 8 for each 5 items. Now you can put on your new alchemy gear. Then you start the whole process over again at step 3, which is you make your Fortify Restoration Potion, then you drink your Restoration Potion again, remove the gear of alchemy, put it back on, then you repeat those steps again. So it's just a big loop, and you do that. But that's how you can compound and get some very, very overpowered gear. So, you save those enchanting potions. They get very overpowered. And then you have the double enchantments. And you can put awesome stuff like Fiery Soul Trap and the Chaos Enchantment together on one weapon and just wreak havoc all over Skyrim. So, I don't know. I think that's probably too much. I've gone on too long. It's already been 11 minutes. I apologize for the length, and I hope that everyone is having a great time with their introduction to Skyrim. I've heard this is supposed to be sort of like a beginner's guide to crafting. I hope I understood the project intention here. So that's my little take on enchanting with a little bit of twist of alchemy. So I hope that is helpful and wasn't just more confusing than anything. And I will say thank you to Michael and everyone else for providing us a nice guide to Skyrim because, man, did I need one when I started. That's why I found Michael in the first place. So thanks for all that. And can I say happy Skyrimming? I think I just did.
Hey, does anybody know when the 12-hour ASA podcasting charity stream for cystic fibrosis is?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find out.
Easy there. I'll tell you. It's October 29th from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Don't
So I'm
tell
trying to-
anyone. That's under wraps.
Oh, is it under wraps?
No,
What's under wraps?
I was kidding.
Geez, don't scare me like that. Get me in trouble with Michael. Hey, if you're lucky, you'll get to hear more great parenting advice like this.
Punish the child, punch it in the head.
You throw the baby in the corner.
Flamethrower.
Eat
And
the
then
baby,
you go on to the
Jeremy.
next-
Right.
And Jerry's eating babies.
Hey, Victor, did you know Andrew can do some of his son's favorite impressions?
I wouldn't know.
Well, here's a couple of them.
I've been looking forward to this.
Choo choo.
A little boat. Choo choo.
And of course, those of us here at ASA Podcasting find that.
Adorable.
And maybe someone's favorite band by the name of
Meat Shield,
will join us and sing some of their greatest hits, including
Elephant on Roller Skates.
Creepy Uncle Laugh, not included. Or what about this one? And finally, Colin's favorite song.
Do you have your crack cocaine in the break?
That's right. All of this could be yours and more if you tune in October 29th between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to the ASA Podcasting Cystic Fibrosis Charity Stream. More details to follow. This commercial is brought to you by ASA Podcasting.
Oh, wow, he's got outro music, too? Jeez, Andrew. Jeez. All right, so that was Andrew with his cheats for how to cheat at Skyrim. Whoops, my audio is booming loud. Sorry about that. That's Andrew with his how to cheat at Skyrim feedback. So, yeah, you can do the restoration and chanting loop and be a big old cheater. Or you can not do that and do it naturally, like the rest of us. And just grind and make jewelry and grind and make jewelry and grind. But, no, that is a fun way to play around with it. I don't know if that might be not in this special edition, though. I mean, it may be cleaned up prior to it. So it's possible we may not even be able to do it on special edition. I don't know. That remains to be seen. I'm sure somebody will try it immediately. So it's actually probably not a bad idea to try out, see if it actually happens. Or see if it actually is available. I would think it wouldn't be, but, I mean, anything's possible. Alrighty. I have... Let's see if I can... Whoops. There we go. I have a little feedback from Dave here. I have a couple of them. But he's been having some Windows 10 issues, which automatically updates itself, which is fantastic. I know Colin was having an issue, too. He's saying load screens were long, but... So he's working through that. But here's a little extract from the Journal of McBeta Blackstone. Freydis, 15th of Morningstar, 4th year, 203. Met with the Greybeards, 4 dry as dust old men, dressed in grey robes today. They improved my unrelenting force. They taught me to move about 20 paces by shouting or using a thum. They really need to get out more and speak to people. 4 old grey men in robes. Or 4 old men in grey robes. What is actually what it says. I told Lydia and Indigo to wait by the fire pot burning beside a bench. Drogo had already gotten himself comfortable lying in front of the fire pot. As I walked deeper into the monastery, I was met by an older man dressed in grey robes and a cowl. He introduced himself as Master Angier, spokesman for the Greybeards. Apparently, the reason for this is the other Greybeards' voices are too powerful for normal conversation. He said if I was truly Dragonborn, I should prove it by shouting the thum I knew. Well, it was a test of sorts, and I let rip with my foos or unrelenting force shout. The old buggers just stood there, barely flinched. Gods, who are these people? That shout of mine knocked a couple of guards off their feet. Anyway, he seemed pleased and welcomed me to High Hrothgar as a Dragonborn. I knew I wasn't the only one, as my 2 sisters are Dragonborn too. They just don't talk about it much. I was taught the second part of my shout by Master Einarth. This, combined with Foos, gave the thum a bit more punch. They seemed surprised at how quickly I learned the second part and even complimented me on the precision of my dragon language. The shouts or thums are really dragon speech, I was told. Something else my bloody sisters forgot to tell me. I think we may need to have words. Given the power of words, debates between dragons must be pretty interesting. I can just see it. Hey, what's with the frost breath? Do that again and you go down with an unrelenting force in your face. You try to foos me, and I'll take you down with my slow time, you fire-breathing woos. Oh yeah, you and whose army? And so on. That is how Dragon Wars start, I imagine. I wonder if they ever have a word for peace. Anyway, my understanding of the second word was absorbed, and a test was given against a series of ghostly figures. The shout just blew them along with a pile of old pots. I was truly gratified to see the two old boys were staggering back too. So, not always able to ignore the shout then. I was then invited to go outside to an open yard in back of the monastery. There I was taught a new shout, which let me move forward about 20 paces almost instantly. Although they shouted at each other, I don't think they were deaf. Whoops. Now that would be pretty useful for running away, I thought to myself, but not out loud. Although they shouted at each other, I don't think they were deaf, just loud. Master Arngeir told me a bit of the history of the Greybeards. There are only 4 in the monastery, but their leader, Parthenax, lived high up in the mountain. He must be a tough old goat because I was bloody freezing at this level. I was then given the quest to retrieve some horn from a place where the original owner, Jurgen Windcaller, was buried. He seemed to be the one who started the Thum business with the Nords by actually not using it even though he knew it. Way beyond my ken. Anyway, I was to go to Ustengrav to retrieve the horn from the Greybeards. This would be my final test before they could accept me as Dragonborn properly. That was fine, because when I checked my map, I could see it was close to Morthal. My next port of call was to meet Miscasia. We have a date with vampires, I believe. I bloody hate vampires, but not as much as Miscasia does. I picked up Lydia, Indigo, and Drogo, and on the way out, we headed back down the steps. Never once saw an animal of any sort on the way. The warm, fuzzy feeling continued all the way down until we got back into Iverstead. Then 2 characters in robes and funny masks marched up to me and asked, "Are you the one who claims to be Dragonborn?" I heard Indigo and Lydia draw their weapons and felt rather than saw them move past me. Drogo crouched beside me, growling ready. I replied that the Greybeards seemed to think so. Too late then, deceiver. My Lord Mirak will be avenged. And then the stupid bastards attacked me with fire. Attacking a Dunmer with fire is not a good idea. It bloody stings, but unless it lasts a long time, it does no real damage. It didn't last long because I foos-rode the 2 who fell on their arse. Now, before I could even get my sword and flame spell up and ready, Lydia, had decapitated one silly bugger, and Drogo and Digo had kept down the other with their old 1-2 trick. 1, Drogo pounces and normally knocks them over. This time he leapt and sat. 2, Indigo just strolls and hits them with his sword. Being a Thane has its advantages with bodyguards like these 3. They had a letter telling them to board some boat called the Northern Maiden in Raven Rock and Solstheim. Search for and then kill me. I'm bloody named in the letter. Who in Oblivion is this Mirak? What have I done to upset him? How in Sithis did he know I was Dragonborn? No way I'm going anywhere near this Raven Rock in Solstheim. We then carried on up to the inn and had a bite to eat, a drink or 2, and then off to bed. It had been a long day. So, McBeta's kind of on the same journey as Jay there. Ran in. Yeah, when you have Dragonborn installed, it's always fun to run into the the cultists early on. I think around like level 10 they kick up. So I don't know why. Yeah, level 10. That seems a little early, but they do kick up around level 10. And sorry, I was reading through an email real quick. And it kind of throws you off because if you're in the middle of the Dragon Quest, it's almost like too early or a spoiler of some sorts. I feel like it should wait a little longer. But That's just my feeling on it. I don't know. And plus, they kill a lot of people. If you're playing on a higher level, man, like they wiped out half a town on me. It was a big pain in the butt. And sorry, very distracted today. Sorry about that. I'm trying to go through emails at the same time and all that. There we go. Oh, here we go. I have another. I knew I had another. Whoops. I knew I had another piece of feedback from Dave. I just wanted to check that out. Sorry about that. I'm so clunky on Windows. I got to admit. There we go. It was a PDF, so I had to open it. And I'll read through this one. Okay, so this one is from a letter left in a prison cell. Friend of Whoops, I can't even read. I'm sorry, I can't read it. Trying to read the beginning part. Oh, there we go. So the beginning part is like when you find a letter. It kind of looks like a letter. Very well done. I actually save all these. But I should post them in the group so people can look at them. From a letter, the letter is entitled, From a Letter Left in a Prison Cell. Frondin Soul 113. Quick hand. Oh, this is quick hand. Quick hand. Happy he set free to Morrowind. Ask to guard to give you ya letter. He say quick hand na want it in cell na mayor. 2 year long enough. Going to Morrowind, you bet. Quick hand. 4th era 161. So, here we go. A journey by cart and sea, then a beginning. Quick hand lay exhausted on his pallet after reaching once more into the bucket in the corner of the cell. The long journey through Cyrodiil from the Imperial City prison had been tiring, as they rarely stopped for rest. He was given bread and cheese and some water at intervals. He then found himself dumped into a small Imperial merchant ship. The final destination was somewhere in Morrowind. He had suffered from seasickness for most of the journey in the cramped brig below the lower deck of the merchant ship. The ship did not normally cater for passengers. The brig was the only spare cabin. He had a fellow prisoner, an Eric Dummer sailor serving time for some misdemeanor, a kindly man who shook him from his semi-comatose state and told him the ship had made landfall from the sounds of docking he could hear. Your guard is coming. I can see his light moving towards us, and I recognize that stumping stride of his. Stand up, Argonian, or it will go badly with you, I fear. I don't know your name, so I have to call you Argonian. I'm sorry, he said quietly. Quickhand, my name is Quickhand, and yes, I'm Argonian. No apology needed, Quickhand replied. Quickhand forced himself upright and leaned against the wall of the cell. The door swung open, and a tall red guard with the wooden barked, Come, Argonian. You have reached your destination. Get yourself cleaned up and make yourself presentable before you go to the main deck. A couple of buckets filled with cold seawater were thrown over him, and he was handed a none too clean rag. Quickhand rubbed himself clean of any residual vomit as best he could, and tried to straighten his now sodden clothes. Now move to the steps over there, the guard said. This way, quickly now. He followed the guard, his claws clicking loudly on the wooden deck. A set of steps leading to a hatch easily pushed up and opened, and then up into the dazzling daylight. He squinted and raised his arms above his head and looked down at the deck as the bright morning light almost blinded him. Another guard indicated the ramp he was going down towards a Dunmer soldier, who stood stiffly looking up at him. The small Argonian thief felt a stab of fear in a moment of panic, then shrugged his shoulders and carefully moved down the ramp. His sharp claws bit into the wood, ensuring he did not slip down the wet planking. You've arrived at last, the soldier said kindly. We didn't know when to expect you. Please follow me. Quickhand was confused. They were expecting him. Who are they? Of course, he thought, they are Dunmer, like his dead friend Draylen Halu. He had been kind to Quick Hand. The Dunmer soldiers stopped at the door and said, "In here. They are waiting to process you." "What is this process?" Quick Hand asked hoarsely. The guard did not reply and just pointed at the door. Quick Hand was gently pushed to the now open door, and the guard pointed at the darkness beyond. Quick Hand entered the large room where 2 Dunmer males stood watching as he stumbled in. Unsure of his footing, the ground moved like he was still at sea. One, a soldier, just stood in the corner looking at the small Argonian and saying nothing, but with his hand resting lightly on his sword. The other indicated papers on the table. These were his release documents from Cyrodiil, his identification and entry documents from Morrowind. He was told to keep them safe. As an Argonian, he would be imprisoned if he traveled through Morrowind without them. He put his name to the release paper and turned and asked, "Am I free to go now, good sirs?" The soldier stepped forward and told him, "You are being given limited freedom on the Emperor's instructions, but before you get released, you have a task to perform. Go into the room next door and wait for your orders from the Captain Argonian." Quick Hand moved quietly through the indicated door, closed it firmly behind him, and looked around the room, dominated by a large table in the center. A sharp dagger pierced the note, pinning it to the table. This, along with some food, drinks, and a lockpick, were quickly picked up and put in his pouches and pockets. No one would grudge him some food and drink after such a long journey, he thought with a grin. He obviously needed the dagger to cut the bread, he reasoned. He wouldn't just keep it. Another glance around the room, and the lockpick was used to quickly open up a small locked case. Still got it," Quick Hand muttered quietly to himself as he picked out the coins from the open box. He moved on and down to a small room, which had some empty barrels and yet another door. He opened this door carefully and peered outside into an enclosed yard. A sealed barrel stood invitingly in a corner beside another door. A few quick steps, a quick insertion of a dagger under the lid, a twist of the wrist, and now a ring gleamed up at him. He could feel the magic coming from the ring. When he slipped it on his finger, a feeling of healthiness emanated through his body. "I'm keeping this, and I need to stop talking to myself," he muttered to himself. He moved through the next door, thinking it was the way out. It just led into another room, where the very erect, well-armored officer stood, watching with amusement in his eyes. Our errant Argonian thief comes to us at last. Excellent. Now we can get on with this business. I am Knight Errant Sullus Gravius. Your identification papers, please." Quick Hand quickly passed over his identification papers, but kept his other documents safe in his belt pouch. "Thank you. Now your instructions. Word of your arrival in Seda Neen only reached me yesterday. I'm here to welcome you to Morrowind and instruct you. This package came with the news of your arrival. You are to take it to Caius Cosades in the town of Balmora, which is north of Seda Neen. Serve him as you would serve the Emperor himself. Go to the South Wall Corner Club and ask for Caius Cosades. They should know where to find him. Serve him as you would the Emperor himself. I see also that you have a letter for you and a dispersal to your name. Words of advice as you are now here. Take the Silt Strider to Balmora. It is fast, cheap, and most of all safe. Just cross the bridge at the edge of town and head east. You really can't miss it. Now you may go, as our business is now concluded. Here are your papers back. You're on your way out into the town. Your way out into the town is there," said the Dunmer, indicating the door behind him. Quick Hand just nodded, took the documents, and quickly opened the door to freedom. So that is, if you've never played Morrowind, that is a take on the opening of Morrowind itself, which I've only played a few times, actually. So I've only played the opening once or twice. I actually want to get back into it. I was just thinking about it. Actually, I may stream it. during the benefit show, which would be awesome. Let's see. Quick Morrowind. I just read. Okay. I'm a little disorganized today. I apologize. I'm all over the joint. All right, so I also have a couple of audio Let's Play kind of feedbacks from Dave to come up after this as well. But I feel very disjointed today. Sorry about that. I feel extremely disjointed. I read the Quick Hand one. Let's see. Yes, okay. That's all done. And yeah, so I am completely disjointed today. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm a mess. Anyway, so I'm going to schedule an episode for us to go through the factions with get everybody together and do that. I know they're finishing up Fallout Roundtable soon, so I'll schedule it around that. They did a huge show over the weekend. And obviously we will be getting ready for Skyrim Roundtable, which is coming up incredibly quickly. I can't believe it. On October 29th, it's going to start, which is crazy. We weren't sure that would ever come back, honestly, because of, we had done it. We thought maybe once right before the release of 6, maybe in a year or 2 or 3. But then the special editions happened, so we think it's a good time to revisit it and kind of go back into that and all. But so if you have any Skyrim-related feedback or want to join in any way, email the show for the roundtable. For information on the roundtable, email skyrimroundtable@gmail.com. Andrew handles that. General show stuff, Skyrim Addict Podcast skyrimaddictpodcast@gmail.com. And those are the best ways to get a hold of the show if you have any kind of feedback or anything, or, you want to participate in the show in any way. So, hopefully I'll be more on my game next time. Man, I just feel completely out of it. I don't know what's going on. It's just one of those days. One of those days. I'm going to go for a nice long run and try and clear my head and figure out why I was such a bad podcaster tonight. But stay tuned for a couple Let's Plays from Dave, and we'll be back next time. And I don't even know how I close the show. I think I say, later, everyone. So we'll do that. All right, later, everyone.
Okay, back again. It's early morning, and I'm excuse me, I'm going down to collect the stuff I left in my chest that I left at the crossroads the day before yesterday. So let's find out what's happened to it. Let's make sure nobody's robbed me. So heading back out of Rorikstead, past underneath the gate, underneath the bridge. Guard wandering across, still got his torch out. So it's early morning, it's just after 7. An overcast day actually. It's actually a bit like Scotland at the moment. It looks almost like Scotland, in fact. Hills in the background covered in mist. I'm heading back down the road. My usual sauntering pace. It's quite a barren landscape. This in some ways. There doesn't seem to be a lot of farmland round about. Although on the other side, according to Rorik, to the south, it's very good farmland. So who am I to dispute? He lives there, I don't. Anyway, reach my chest, and I'm just going to take everything and head back up and see what I can sell, and then I'll start heading back towards Whiterun. Pick up some harvest. I'll harvest some red flowers, which I've just passed. I've tried foraging in this area yet, so I'll give it a wee go. I'll try for anything. So, large animal bone, edible root, edible mushroom, edible flower. Red mountain flower added, or a tapanella added. So I'm doing quite well for lavender. So my foraging skills are obviously improving. Try again. go for anything. So this time I've got a couple of edible roots, lavender, edible mushroom. Mushrooms are always nice. Beehive husk, tundra cotton, and red mountain flowers, and a bit of firewood. So it's amazing how things add up. And this is the problem. I tend to, when I do forage, I tend to pick up a lot of stuff and then suddenly realise I've overloaded myself. So I'll just check that I'm still okay. And any of the materials I just got, do I know all about them? One thing about Hunterborn, once you reach a certain level, you get to know what all the ingredients are for things. So the Morata Pinela, what it was called, I learned it's lingering damage health from that. So that's obviously a poison, which I, as Lydia, I wouldn't be using, because she's really only using it for health and stamina potions in the main. I'll see what I can. I'm back at the blacksmith's now. I'll see what I can actually get from the blacksmith. See what I can break down and see what I can actually make. So what have I got? Right, from the iron sword I can get a steel ingot, and from the iron mace I get two iron ingots, and I could make a gold ingot from the septums I've made, but I'm not going to. So I've managed to get a couple of iron ingots now. I can, if I take some charcoal from the pile, I can actually make steel. So I've made 2 steel ingots. So I've got 2 steel ingots and an iron ingot. Let's see what I can make. And steel. I can get a decent. Can't make much in the way of armour for myself. I probably need and I can make some other sorted buckles. I could make another cooking pot if I wanted, but I'll leave it just now and see if I can prove anything I'm wearing. Right, well, I can improve my fur helmet, which is fine. So I've now managed to improve my fur helmet, and grindstone. Right, the Legionnaire sword that I've got, I can improve, which is interesting. Yep, and I can improve my longbow. Not that I'm using the longbow, but and I can also improve the Imperial bow that I picked up. So it improves the value of the, increases the value of the items. So now anything I can break down in the rack. Could make another fur, backpack and fur. Doesn't seem to be very much else I can make. I can make some more leather. So I'll just hang on to this and see what I can sell to our friendly merchant next door. But before I go in, I'll make sure I swallow a potion of improve my speech skills. Right. Items. Let's have a look at the potions. Potion of fortify speech. Now I'll speak to them.
Take a look.
What can I sell you? Blacksmith's apron, couple of capes. One of the merchant's hats. Oh, I can sell a silver garnet ring, which is nice. And that crappy old steel helmet. And if the weapons, yeah, I made an imperial bow, an engineer's sword, which is not quite as good as the ancient sword, and I'll sell one of the longbows, and that's about it, I think. All I got is a wish. When did I pick up a silver ingot? Oh well, I got it off someone obviously. I'll sell that. And
All right,
coin.
then.
Okay, that's fine, thank you very much. And since I've managed to pick up a few more things, I'll see if I can make another fortify speech. Craft some of these, coming useful. And health regeneration, excellent. I can regenerate health faster for 300 seconds, so I'll make a few of these. And the rest are poisons. I suppose I could make some and sell them. I don't get very much for them. No. Okay, no, anything I make is actually quite low cost, so I've obviously got the skill to make anything exciting. So I'll just leave it at that, and we'll head on down the road. Right, so Roddick Stride, quite a nice little village, small, almost a small town, but not quite. And I'll head out through the south gate on the White Run Road. I've not made up my mind. I think what I'll do is, rather than follow the road, which I know is rather long and winding, intend to cut straight across country. Much more dangerous, of course, but what's life without a bit of danger? So that's me crossing onto the plains of White Run, or west of White Run, and the first thing I see are a pack of wolves attacking and chasing an elk or a deer. I think what I'll do is damn it, the damn thing's running towards me, which means the wolves are going to run towards me if they spot me. Well, I've now decided I'm probably better game because they're heading towards me, and we'll just have to see how we get on. Yep, here we go. Oh dear, there are a couple of wolves down. Wolves really should learn to leave me alone. Right, I'm not going to waste my time with skinning them. I'm actually trying to get home now as quickly and as shorter as possible. So I'll maintain a score here, so 2 wolves so far, and just head on over the plains. Well, I say plains, I don't know what the plains are. I've never been to the States, so I don't know what the plains are like. I think they're vast areas of grassland. If it's similar to the sort of grassy area in Canada, then I can see what the plains are, but this is more like a rocky terrain, fairly flat, but it's undulating, shall we say, and they're quite sparse. There's not much vegetation. There's a few plants here and there, the odd tree, lots of bits of stone, and small patches of water which look like, oh damn it, a thunderous spider. I'm not going to mess with that. They are quite nasty.
I'm warning you, back off.
Right, just wait a moment.
I'm warning you, back off.
3 bandits, no, I'm not going to mess with them, too many. But I might be able to entice that spider over beside them. See how it gets to get on now, threatening me. Poor young innocent lass. Alright, I'm going to change weapon here. I'm going to get my bow out. And see. It's not a huge spider, so I'm wondering if I can actually get it. Oh, damn it, there's a huge spider. Right. That's right, guys, you kill the spider. Oh, that was well played. So my 3 bandit friends have now killed the spider. I didn't have to do anything other than bring it over towards them, which means I can now get on my merry way rejoicing, bypass these guys, and head on down towards the river and relative safety. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm aiming for a small coppice of what looks like fir trees, and I'll stop there for the moment and rest and recuperate, maybe have a bite to eat, and survey the land round about me and see what's ahead of me. So I'm going to stop here. I can see quite high up here, or reasonably high up, so I'll have a quick look around. There's nothing obvious, so I think I'll just stop at this point and save the game. Yep. Yep, save the game there. And we'll stop recording at that point. Thank you very much. And we're off again. I'm having a good look around. Don't really see anything that's looks dangerous, and I can see the throat of the world, and I can actually see white run away in the distance. So I know I'm on my way home here, and I'm going to head down to the waters. Oh damn it, more bloody wolves. I'm actually a fair bit away from them, they're chasing another deer, so I'll stay out of the way for a minute. Not the elk. It is an elk actually. It's escaped. Right. I'm on one side of the river, and the wolf is on another side. And what I'm going to try and do is no. That's it. Just get it before it gets me, which I've done, which is fine. And the problem is there's a lot of mud crabs in this water that I've got to cross. And I can actually see some nurnroot and also some slaughterfish eggs that I would fancy getting, so I'll just take these mud crabs out first. This one down, the other one's active now. Not happy. Send the one out. Ease my way forward. I think there may be another one, but we'll find out. Anyway, I've got the darn root. And I've got the slaughterfish eggs. And I'm going to try and escape around here and avoid tackling the large giant mud crab, which looks a bit too healthy for my liking. Yeah, I'll just ignore you and I'll follow this excuse me, gently slow moving river or stream. It's almost a river now, I suppose. It's actually a bit more than a stream. Passing a very large, almost half decayed tree, huge tree. Obviously been blown over in a storm or something. Lots of large trees in this area. Individual ones, they seem to be a giant mud crab, which I'm going to do my best to avoid. I sold out just in case. Damn it, another small mud crab. Oh, go away. See what I can get from this. Ingredients am I going to get? Mud crab chitin and a small animal bone. And I'll get some meat from this. Mud crab meat and a couple of mud crab legs. And I'll dispose of the carcass. Get the place looking tidy. And carry on my way. I've come across a corundum ore, but I don't have a pickaxe with me, so I'll just carry on past. Another small coppice of trees, actually useful. And some purple mountain flowers to pick. And oh, now I can see Fort Graymoor on my right. And some mammoths, and they're giants, herders. I'll keep out their way. You don't want to mess with mammoths because the giants get upset, and you certainly don't want to upset the giants because they've got huge giant bone, mace like things. I'm doing quite well here now, remember it. Excellent. How am I doing for my water? I'll just check since I've just leveled, which is always good news. Right, I still need to put my stamina up. And what can I put this perk into? I think I need to possibly increase my heavy armour. Improves my armour rating by 20%, so that's me got a point in single-handed, one-handed, two-handed, block, archery and heavy armour, so that's me doing quite well for my perks. I'm well on my way to having a decent bit of warrior skill. A couple of elk and deer ahead of me. There's a river, ignore them. A small stream to cross. And I'm almost within spitting distance of Fort Gramer, which I know has bandits in it. In fact, we used to have great fun as kids running about Fort Gramer, playing hide and seek with the bandits. Used to hide from them and they could seek us. I'm not sure if they actually were being nasty to us or kind to us, but they certainly never bothered us. We just played games. It was good fun. Wouldn't be good fun now. I'm a bit more grown up, and I'd be seen as fair game for these guys. So I'll avoid them as much as I can. I certainly stay out of the way. We're coming up to another sort of rocky area. It's almost like a mine. This is Redrun's Retreat. Another area that I used to play at. You've got to remember that Lydia, as a young girl, I lived in and around Whiterun for what's now 15 years. So she's she obviously knows the area quite well. Her mother sends her out on these daft trips to try and toughen her up. Anyway, she knows that there's bandits inside the mine, the Redlands Retreat, but it doesn't stop her having a quick look to see what they've got and really help relieve them, make life difficult for them. Nobody's coming out to a challenger, so she'll just take everything she can. It's all good food, so they're on short commons for the rest of the day. And she sneaks her way past and then quickly speeds up a bit and gets out of sight. Now we're coming up to one of the houses that is a mod for Windwalker Manor. I usually designate that as a Dragonborn or a Thane's house. Nice big, almost large farmhouse with adjoining properties. Quite a nice mod actually. It's quite good. Coming up close to Fort Greenwood now, and I'm not going to take any chances. I'll just see and stay on the far side of the road, harvesting what I can, some tundra cotton, which is quite a useful ingredient, along with some blue mountain flowers. I'm going to move away from the road now and just head straight towards the Western Watchtower. I know the guards there are quite useful. Past this old ruin of a house. Plenty of deer in this area. Good hunting. But also, obviously, there's good hunting for wolves as well, so you've actually got to be quite careful. Thalmor, what are they doing here? Don't like the Thalmor. I'm looking for Thalmor patrol. They quite often patrol this area. I don't know why they're here, but anyway. So, back on the road again, just outside the Western Watchtower. A couple of deer on the road, and I think I can see Khajiit traders up ahead. I'll come up and say hello to the guards. Probably I'm going to join the guards when I grow up, I think. Not much else for me to do.
Staying safe, I hope.
Oh, I am, yes. Thank you very much. And I think we'll stop here and call it another place to make a safe stop. And we'll save the game again and finish. I don't know how long that is, it's another 10 minutes or so. But yeah, that's fine. Okay, thanks very much.
Following total atomic annihilation, it may fall to you to save the great nation. That's why Voltech has made extra preparation and are proud to present to you a special education.
Would you like a very spiffy, brand new ASA podcasting t-shirt? Well, that's great because we have two brand new designs, one for a Skyrim Addict and one for the Fallout feed over at etsy.com/shop/ASA podcasting.
Supply the spark, so on seeing something sweet, be sure to scavenge your staff.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Skyrim Addict. You can find all of our contact information, YouTube channel information, as well as other shows over at asapodcasting.com, including our newest show, The Fallout Feed. Special thanks to Claire Lafar for the show's artwork. You can find her stuff at etsy.com/MayaFirePrints, MayaFirePrints. And a thank you to Dan Bull for the use of his music in the roundtable open and close. You can find him on YouTube or iTunes. Just search Dan Bull. Once again, thanks for listening, and later, everyone.